Kaido might have been the strongest creature alive, but Pureojuice boiled him in under 3 minutes. Yes, we've all heard Gear 5 Luffy's Kaido diss, but today I am breaking it down and giving you my real takes on this insane writing. Also, if you're into anime, gaming, and general chaos, maybe you should join my crew, that's all I'm saying. But anyway, let's ride. Now, we already know how many times, how many episodes, and how many fists it took to send Kaido back to hell. Luffy literally had to run it back 4 times. And that was with the help of Zoro, Law, and Kid. And the team. The team did great. So the fact that Pureojuice started with this is refreshing, but not as refreshing as that diddy-dee-dum-dum-diddy. That beat drop didn't just introduce the track, it introduced Gear 5, it introduced Kaido's downfall, and most importantly, it gave this diss a pulse. It is the perfect way to breathe life into the disrespect that's coming.
You gotta be ashamed of yourself.
Like I said, Luffy got his ass beat 4 separate times before he could even think about winning. He pulled out every piece of hockey, every gear, and Kaido still out here sipping 16 gallons of depression and vodka like it's water. And for that monkey line, I feel like Luffy yelled that out as a new power move, so I'm just gonna go with that. But then, Pureojuice drops this. And swiftly it was. Mama. Because if there's one thing we know about Kaido, we know he's an emotional wreck. He ain't just fighting Luffy, he's fighting guilt, he's fighting trauma, and he's fighting alcoholism. Actually, I think they might be best friends. Kaido was practically begging Luffy to be his therapist in the final round. And Pureojuice said, don't worry, where you're going, you won't need any therapy services. Now that, boys, is a genius way to kick off this diss. It's savage, it's layered, and it hits deeper if you actually watch Wano. What's funny is that Kaido didn't even take Luffy seriously until he pulled out Gear 5. Luffy spent all that time yelling, I'm not playing with you. I will beat your ass. I don't know how to do Luffy's voice. Don't expect me to try. And Kaido was treating this like a warm-up. I mean, Kaido was drunk the first time he won. It's disrespectful. So when we saw Luffy doing jump ropes with Kaido's neck, that wasn't just funny, it was spiritual healing. And we've seen this energy before. Because let's not forget, the Straw Hats said screw you to the world government back in Water 7 when they rescued Robin. And Gear 5? Gear 5 is Luffy with no rules and no physics. It's him saying, screw your house, screw your generals, and screw your alcohol. Pureojuice doesn't just come at Kaido with disrespect, he pays homage to the iconic moments too. Because let's be real, you gotta be insanely strong, physically and mentally, to be thinking about a name for a new power move when Kaido is 4 feet away from you, radiating pure violence. Luffy has come a long way. And it shows because for him, this isn't just a win. He is carrying the weight of every single person who has fought, who has bled, who has died. So this battle could even happen. Luffy could not die here, especially when Pedro, Izo, Asura, and Yasui gave up everything. And Pureojuice taps into that emotion while still violating Kaido bar to bar. Now, the chorus plays again. Killing me is not enough to kill me, my hobby, diddy do dum dum diddy. And we get to verse 2. Now let's talk about pride, because Kaido is one of the most prideful characters in One Piece, and you couldn't tell him otherwise. And yet Pureojuice closes this with 2 bars that shuts it all down. The strongest creature is nothing to a god, my haki alone makes the heavens split. This line is heavier than you think, not just because it sounds cool, but because of what it means. Luffy being the reincarnation of Joy Boy, a literal godlike figure, and Kaido, he took the entire navy, the supernovas, the worst gen, he took everything, which is literally wild. but listen closely because I'm gonna tell you a secret. Kaido and Big Mom are not dead. I will bet my limbs on that. There is no way that Oda let the two biggest threats in the show get written off like that. We'll see them again. I'm calling it now. But back to that bar. Pureojuice ties this all back to Eneru, the antagonist of Skypiea. You know, the guy who almost one-shot the Straw Hats. Apparently in the manga he's on the moon now. I don't read. But I do know this. He better stay there because if he comes back, rubber's always gonna bounce back. CP0 died for nothing.
Oh my god! Oh jeez, oh my god!
I don't need to explain that. If you watched Wano, then you already know that that was painful. CP0 jumped in like they were about to make history, only to give Luffy the key to his power-up. Beautiful, simple, and devastating. And then we get hit with, if that old witch wasn't so foul, Odin would have put that fool in a coffin. And let me tell you, she's foul, she's ugly, and every time she was on my screen, I smelled rotten eggs and adult diapers. But I gotta admit, she was pulling mad strings. She had Wano on lock and she was moving in the shadows, man. She really said, let me do something great before the dementia kicks in. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But she deserves it. I don't care. But it was these lines right here that made me rethink everything. Look, people, it doesn't take a genius to know that Kaido's liver is clinging on to dear life by a thread at this point. The whole world probably knows that Kaido's pastime is emotional drinking. This bar caused me to do some research because I really wanted to know, hey, why didn't he just... And I actually saw this comment on Reddit by Blue Lore, so it gave two possible reasons. His fruit is the fish fruit model Azure Dragon, so maybe he can breathe underwater. Okay, I didn't know the name of his fruit, so thank you for that. But honestly, that explanation doesn't sit right with me. Knowing Oda, I don't think that's a reason that he would give. It feels like a cop-out, and One Piece rarely takes the easy road. Kaido wants a legendary death. Falling from a sky island? That's poetic. Drowning? Too lame. Now that I can agree with. A prideful man like Kaido doesn't just want to die, he wants a death that means something. A death to cement his legacy, not one that makes people go, oh well, he kind of just fell in the ocean and I guess that was it. No one wants that. That's why he's still around, and honestly, Pureojuice's line nails it. He calls out Kaido's bluff and reminds us that for all of his strength, he is still running from himself. God, I love One Piece. For someone that just finished Wano, I gotta say, this is an 8 out of 10 for me. It's not supposed to be cold-blooded and gritty like his other songs. This is a victory song. A celebration after everything these characters went through. And when I hear this track, I hear that release, the energy, and the dust settling while Luffy stands tall after the battle. It's fun, it's catchy, it's got vigor, and it has enough disrespect to make Kaido roll into imaginary hell. I'll say it and I'll say it again, Pureojuice does not disappoint. This really was a thank you to all the One Piece fans. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite bar was, or if you think Big Mom and Kaido are getting a comeback arc. If you want more of these breakdown videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, burn it, do whatever you want. It's greatly appreciated. And with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys. Love you. Ciao.